Hey, I'm sorry. You tell them, you're like, I'm on a Zoom call. They just look at you, right? But good evening, good evening. Thank you so much, man. We love power couples, and I'm excited. Man, do you know I thought you guys were RVPs this whole time? I never knew until I saw our flyer that you were regional leaders. So I'm even more impressed than I already was with the two of you. So this is a treat for me. Crandall should be on a little bit shorter, but we got some folks that are hopping on. Hopefully you sent your flyer out to your team and they hop on to hear you guys as well. But want to kick this thing off first with a little bit of congratulations, right? Because we have Bernard, man. Bernard Alcindor is in South Carolina. And he just like when I tell you he made up his mind to get the securities license thing done, he started killing it. Like he was firing what that rapid fire, making sure everything came out and everything. So Bernard, I want to first again give you your flowers, congratulate you. Congratulations to your uplines, Don Talisha and Monte Smalls. Man, I know I want to hear from you first, Bernard. Tell everybody, take 5 minutes, and I want you to just talk about a made up mind. Okay. So I did not prep them on purpose because I like stuff fresh. Right. Just like my food, I want it hot, I want it ready, I want it fresh. And so that's how I feel about, talks as well. Right. I don't like when people come and they're like, well, what they wanted me to talk about today was, I hate that. All right. And so fresh off the press right there, Bernard, a made up mind. Take 5 minutes and talk to people about, man, because you knocked out your SIE, your 6, your 63. I'm sure you're about to go get the 26 and go ahead and get that out the way since you're already in study mode. But encourage your teammates, Bernard.
Good evening, everyone. That is definitely a surprise, but sure. So, made up mind. Uh, I'll start with my little story for the securities journey. Um, on in February, I was like, man, I really want to get started and get this thing done. And I said, I'm gonna do a unit a day. I wanted to study a long time ago, but I had some, conflicts with the family or whatever, just trying to get everything together. But I started February 1st doing one unit a day, and then I went to a class. But as far as the mindset, I just knew I needed to put the time aside to accomplish that goal. So I stopped working out. I usually work out in the morning. I stopped that. Now I have love handles, um, which is okay. It's okay. I can work it out. But I had some other side businesses or side gigs that I used to do. Had to sacrifice that as well. It took a lot of sacrifice, but the vision was at the end of the day, this is what my goal is, and it's to be securities licensed, have my own office, and be able to not work. I'm looking for freedom, and if I'm continuing to go to work, I can't have it. So I had to give up going to work. And as far as I'm still in the military, but my side gigs, I had to give all that up in order to accomplish this particular goal. So that's kind of what it took, and sticking to it. That was very hard because the discipline behind that it was so intense. But I had to keep the eye on the prize, and it's not the journey seems so long, but I guess my diet, being a vegetarian, prepared me for that journey. I just had to complete one unit today was my mindset, and that's something that I just tried to stick to, or I worked on sticking to, and I stayed very close to that. And because of that, I was able to accomplish some of those goals. Another thing was, partnering up with other people in the same journey, like Brandon. I sat with him a few times, watching him take the test, studying with him, learning from him. Just put myself in places where other people are pursuing that same goal. So the reason that we join the meetings is to meet with people who have the same goal. So I know that wasn't 5 minutes, but
No, but it
that
was.
I had to have that stick to itiveness.
Listen, that was all good stuff, y'all. I'm gonna give you 3 points that I hope that you caught because if you didn't catch it, you better catch it now. One thing he mentioned is good habits. So he already had some habits in place that caused him to have the discipline, right? The good habits, like he's already working on things with my health, the exercise and whatever. So your habits impact everything. I tell my kids that all the time. How you do anything is how you do everything. And so it's just going to bleed over. You can't, when they come and they visit their dad for a week, I can tell you what they did for the week based on how they came back. Because you're going to come back either doing what you just did, right? Or less of what you were doing when you were here. And so he had those good habits he put into place, partnering up. You heard him say he partnered up, but notice he said, I partnered up with somebody who was on the same journey. They were headed in the same direction that I'm already headed, right? And Don Talisha, I co-host you if you would help me out with admitting people in, right? But partnering with the right people, he see a lot of times we go partner with the person who has our struggle, right? We don't go find the person that's already doing what we want to do that will challenge us. So be careful if you're picking a partner. Do like he said, I picked somebody that I could shadow and see how they were studying, what they were already doing, so I can put that in place. And the last thing was, I don't know, y'all. He said it several times. He said, "Give up, give up, give up." I don't know if y'all caught that, but he didn't say I got it. I gave up, like I stopped studying or whatever. No, he said I gave up some things that I value because I knew it would be temporary. So you got to give up to go up. You understand? But we ain't talking about giving up like I quit. But we got to understand. So somebody on here doesn't want to away from their kids. Somebody on here is going through something, and you're allowing what you're going through to overshadow all the good things that are happening. You're gonna mess up your own blessing. So you got to give up to go up. So awesome. Thank you, Bernard. Again, congratulations to you. Some more flowers got to given out tonight, y'all, because we celebrating. This ain't no funeral. We celebrating. We got Brandon Hicks. I call him Mr. Connecticut because Palmier's, that's where he's out of, Connecticut. Brandon is the type of cat that we have an event and he'll travel 20 hours to be there. Like, it's amazing to me. And so shout out to your uplines, the bumpers. But Brandon, I'm not trying to tell your business, but you done took that SIE a few times, right? You know, took it a few times and it didn't go the way you wanted it to go, but you never gave up, right? Playing off again what Bernard said, you never gave up. You were determined to go up, right? So tell everybody again about the made up mind, but from your perspective, why, Brandon, why you don't have a big team yet, you haven't made a lot of money yet, but you're still here. You still show up. You spend money to travel, and you've been still going after that test, no matter how many times it just looked like it wasn't in your favor. So you got to help us out. I don't understand because you seem a little crazy to me.
Yeah, how y'all doing, everybody? Yeah, just to iterate again, my name is Brandon Hicks. I would have to say, really, being stubborn is the first thing. I'm just very, very stubborn. I just don't like to lose. So that's my first thing. So just to let you know, guys, this is my fourth time taking SIE. Fourth time's a charm, right? So in order for me to take that first time, I didn't think I would really prepare myself. I thought I did, but I didn't. And then to let you know, the second and third time, guys, when I failed, I was 2 points away. So that really even hurt me even more. It was crushing and devastating to be that close, even though you put so much work in and still come up short, right? So it was crushing, very crushing. And then on top of that, you have that 6 months where you can't do anything. So I said to myself, okay, Brandon, now this is lock time mode, right? You have 6 months of no activity. So what can you do in that 6 months? Okay. So, and I said during that 6 months, I said, when my window is open, I said, I'm going to be ready. I said, when I come back to you guys, I said, I will not come back to you guys without a license, you know what I mean, with a pass test. So one of the things I did, like what Bernard was saying, was sacrifice. Some people are not willing to say, I mean, I sacrifice my family. I have not seen my family in months. I mean, and what I mean by that is, I mean, for the few that know, I already work at night. So I really embrace that role. So throughout the nights, all I would do if I wasn't working, even on my days off, I was getting up in the middle of the night and I would just grind it out all night studying, practice tests, whatever I had to do. See my kids in the morning, send them off to school, go to sleep. You know what I mean? Wake up in the afternoon. Hey, how you guys doing? Bedtime, right back at it. So, like I said, it was months of me not seeing my family. So that was very hard on me as well. But that's the sacrifice I was willing to do in order to pass this test. Also too, with all the, you know what I mean, while I was also studying, it was also a lot of distractions in the midst of it as well that, you know what I mean, which was also tough. I had to learn to stop because, you know what I mean, you're going to keep getting those distractions, right? So just keeping a strong mind, and also too, like Bernard was saying, Bernard, shout out to you, bro. You were a very big help and inspiration to me because I mean it was at a point where I thought I kind of plateaued, and you know what I mean, just working with Bernard allowed me to get to a level that I didn't think I can reach far as testing goes. And then once I hit that level, it was all, you know what I mean, hit the ground running from there. So it just shows that if you just work with somebody that's along the same journey as you know what I mean, you guys can cohabitate and work, and you know what I mean, just be in the trenches together, and you guys can come out successful. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work, a lot of grinding, and you know what I mean, and it's just a lot of give and take, and you just can't stop. You just can't stop. I mean, you really have to be stubborn if you really want this. Be stubborn.
Right. Man, Brandon, you got to say it for him one time. Who's your
Yeah.
RVP, Brandon?
Bernadette Bumpers.
That's a little inside joke we have. Palmier. He got nervous on stage one day, and they said, "Say who your RVP." He should have said, Crandall Cragen, and he said his upline, right? And so that I've been teasing him. What, 2 years now? I think, Brandon.
Yeah.
I'm not letting that die. I
Nope.
love him. But again, shout out to you. And just the biggest thing you got to give up to go. Did y'all hear him say he hadn't seen his kids? See, somebody is going to be so worried. And I know how kids are, Brandon. They whine, they complain because they don't understand. They want, but they don't understand the sacrifice, right? You had to, hey, not put them to bed some days or just a quick kiss and I ain't seeing you for the rest of the day. Still had to work his job, right? And did y'all hear it? He said 4 times he took that test. I don't know if y'all realize, what is it, Brandon? Is it after the second time or the third time you have to wait 6 months?
Third time.
All right. After the third time, you got to wait 6 months before they'll allow you to test again. And he said he was 2 points away. Brandon, I don't know if you've ever seen, I'm going to share my screen real quick, and then Palmiers, you're up next. But this is the image that popped in my head, y'all, when Brandon was talking. Can y'all see that? Did it pop up?
No. Okay, there we go.
All right. Did y'all see it? I'm on my laptop. But if you notice the guy at the top, man, he's digging, he's going for it, right? But then it's like he's not even close, but he's giving it all he got. And then you have the guy right there. What you heard Brandon say is that he didn't want to be the guy at the bottom. He said, I was only 1 or 2 points away. He at any point in time, with the way the business has been going, he could have made a decision that maybe this isn't for me, because we've had people do that. We've had people miss out on their diamond because they didn't realize how close they were. But because he didn't give up, y'all, he just accomplished something huge. Now, watch what I say. Brandon Hicks is about to be just like Bernard, possibly even faster, and how fast he knocks out the rest of these exams because he's already figured it out. See, somebody on here won't even take the exam one time. One time. We just try. Can you stop extending your test date? Can you show up? Who cares if you fail it? Go get it over with. Rip off the band-aid so you know you ain't gonna die. Nobody's gonna make you. We're not gonna put you off the team, right? But go take the dadgum test. Brandon said I took it knowing I failed it before and took it again, and failed it before and took it again. And you know what? Now they making me wait 6 months, and I'm still gonna study and go do what? Take it again. Brandon, you need to do a video. We're gonna make a poster that said just do it. You're the new Michael Jordan, okay? You just do it. We love it. And so without further ado, gave people enough time to hop on. If they miss it, they miss it, right? Because they already missed some awesomeness, right? But we have, of course, and I'm going to read, I don't want to mess anything up, okay? We have future RVPs, Austin and Haley Palmier, awesome couple, who not only individually, but again, as a couple, they're in the dirty 30s, y'all. So, they young, vibrant, so they're just going to have lots of energy. They have a 1-year-old son, so good thing y'all are doing it in your 30s. Don't wait. Don't wait. They have 40 new licenses. I see some of y'all didn't read the flyer, so I'm gonna put it out there for you. 40 new licenses. Do you understand they're on track for the Power Builder ring in the base shop? Do you understand that? They didn't wait to go RV to think that I can make six figures. No, they're on track for it right now. Six-figure income. Power Builder means recruiting and getting the premium and everything. The cash flow is right there for them to get their ring. 39 personal recruits, 85 total, and $3.8 million in securities volume. I just want to know, can I hold a little something? That's can you help a sister out, you know? And so I see my husband just hopped on as well. So I'm gonna, of course, he's gonna close us out. But Austin and Haley, obviously we want to hear your personal story and everything. And then of course we said that we were gonna make sure that we did a panel with the two of you as well. And before you even speak, I want to, of course, honor the man of the house, Mr. Crandall Cragen. Did you want to say anything, honey, before I let them take off and bless us?
No, no, good to go. Let them roll. I'm excited to be here, ready to take notes.
Cool. It's all yours, guys.
Man, the Kragans, thank you guys so much just for asking us to be a part of this. We are super, super excited. Got to give credit where credit's due. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, without him, none of us would be here, right? And so, just so thankful, thankful for my wife, thankful for the Team Nelson hierarchy and the Landrum hierarchy, and just thankful to be able to do this. This is something that is going to give me more than y'all are going to get. It gives me confidence, it gives me direction, and it gives me hope for the future because this is what I love to do. I love to impact people. I love to pour into other people. I think that's why we're built and created is to serve. And so definitely you guys are blessing us tremendously. And I was looking before we kind of get into our story, y'all are on a winning team. And I'm a big numbers person. If you don't know that already, I love the numbers. Just to kind of shine a light on this, y'all are number 4 in recruiting through third in the state, top 5 in 5 major categories: recruiting, premium, licensing, team cash flow, and new assets under management year to date. And so y'all are a part of a solid balanced business. And I was thinking, like, before I was speaking this evening, I was like, how would I describe y'all's business? And the Cragans, y'all, man, y'all have poured into me more than y'all even know. Balanced business. That was the first thing I thought of. Balanced business, faith-based, grit, tough, and edifies leadership constantly. This power couple right here, y'all have in your own hands. They're constantly edifying each other and they're edifying their leadership. And that is something that if I'm coming into their office, I'm thinking, what did they do? And I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do because that's what I want, right? And so you guys are a part of such a powerful, powerful hierarchy. And it's an honor and a privilege to be able to speak with you guys this evening. And so just thankful. Just wanted to kind of start it out with Haley, just kind of telling our story a little bit, just bringing it in at the front end. And then I'm going to come up with a presentation and then we'll open it up. So Haley, why don't you kind of tell them a little bit about who we are?
Yeah, so thanks again, guys, for letting us speak. So I want to talk about our story a little bit because it's just so funny. Like God is just has a funny way of working, right? And so I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana, born and raised Cajun. My maiden name's Thibodeau. That's how Cajun you can imagine I am. Okay. My mom was also a Boudreaux that married a Thibodeau. So my brother and I were born walking jokes, is what people used to say. But anyway, so Austin and I met in college. He was working for big commercial construction company. I've been a fitness coach for 9 years. I'm a former fitness coach. That's what I had a passion for. I still have passion for fitness, obviously. It's what I went to school for, all the things. And it's just so funny because Mama Renee, if you guys ever met Renee Palmier, she's Austin's mom. She's actually at our house next door putting Hudson to bed for us so we can talk tonight. So she's making the sacrifice, so hopefully she can tune in. But what's really crazy is Austin, I think you signed your IBA originally, what, in 2017?
Yep.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do anything for like 2 years. He signed his IBA with Renee. 2 years, he was just like, I'm just helping my mom out. She helped me get out of debt, and I'm just going to go ahead and sign my IBA because I believe in what she's doing is good for people. But I just got my job. I'm good where I'm at. She's good at what she does. I'm going to stay over here, right? And then we met. and I was bartending and waiting tables, and I was also coaching fitness. So I can't say I've ever worked for corporate America. Never worked an 8 to 5. I was just always coaching fitness and bartending, waiting tables. And then we met and we started dating, and then I met his parents, kind of thing, right? And Renee comes to me with this opportunity, and she's like, "Hey, Haley, like you're really good at coaching people, and you're just so friendly, and like all the different things." And this was back in 2019. And she was like, well, we're hiring at my office and we're really looking to expand and grow. And, I was like, great. Well, what is it that you do? And she said, I teach people how money works. And I looked at her, I said, Renee, I'm 23 years old and I don't know how to write a check. Like, I don't think I'm good for this position. Like, no, I'm okay. She goes, no, no, no. We'll teach you from the ground up. You get all your licenses, you get the financial education and all that stuff. And I was like, well, you know what? The worst thing that I could get out of this opportunity is a financial education that I never had before, because y'all all know we're not taught financial literacy in school, right? I didn't know anything about money at all. Okay. We're all taught go to school, get a job, and kind of figure it out and wing it. And so I was like, okay, great. I'll go ahead and, partner with you guys. I'm going to be super, super part-time, because I believe in what you guys do and all this other stuff, right? Well, funny thing is that Austin was like, wait, I saw my IBA back in 2017. And I'm like, Austin, this is a great opportunity. You'd be like really good at this. Like, I'm serious. And he kind of just put it on the back burner still and all this other stuff. Well, then, so I got my life license. I actually drove here to Mississippi to take my test. Okay. And then drove back. I stayed with his parents at their house for like 2 weekends. And then I came back. And then Austin was like, man, you're really dedicated to this thing. And I said, yes, I am. And then COVID happened in 2020, and I got laid off from both of my jobs, from coaching and waiting tables, right? And Austin was still working, of course, but Primerica was all I had because I didn't have any other degree besides fitness. That's what I had. And so I was like, okay, I really got to get after this thing. And then he comes home a couple of nights or a couple of weeks in a row in a bad mood and all this other stuff, and he's working like 60 hours a week, only getting paid for 40, and I'm sitting here on a Zoom doing like different meetings and training meetings with his mom, and he's like, man, I'm like, Austin, you really need to get into this opportunity, because number one, you're coming home with a bad attitude, and I don't think that this is going to work long term if this keeps happening. So I think you need to find something else. Like, I know you've been doing this for like 6 years, but I think it's time to find something else. And so he was like, okay, fine then. How about we do this? And by the way, before I even go to this part, I just want to let y'all know, Renee, she's ruthless. Okay. She put me on 2 appointments and then threw me to the wolves by myself. On a training appointment, I recruited my best friend. Okay. And I had only done 2 appointments with her as my field trainer. Okay. And then I recruited my best friend, and then my best friend set appointments, right? And Renee goes, oh, you got it. Go ahead. I'm like, excuse me? No, you need to come with me to do this appointment. Like, I just recruited her. I don't know what I'm doing. She goes, yes, you do. Go ahead. Y'all, 2 appointments that she threw me the wolves. Okay, I like, and this was when we were still doing that 4-page in-person cup of coffee. I was on a napkin. I was at Starbucks. And y'all, it was so funny. I'm sitting there in the car on my way to this appointment at Starbucks. My best friend's hyping me up in the car. She's like, you got this, you got this, you got this. And I'm like, I'm shaking in my boots. Like, I'm like, no. The kid's like 19, like it's just nothing. And I'm like sitting here like it's a big deal. I'm about to melt, right? Anyway, did great, all the things. And it was just so funny looking back on it. But yeah, ruthless Renee. I'm serious.
Yeah.
So don't let her fool y'all, okay? I feel like sometimes we baby our team way too much after what she did to me, okay? But anyway, so Austin gave me a challenge. He said, okay, well, if you go district by yourself in a month, granted, this was right when COVID happened, so everything was on Zoom. He said, I'll quit my job, put my 2 weeks in, and I'll go full time. I said, okay. I did it in 2 weeks.
I didn't think she could do it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I thought I was good. I thought I was clean.
He's sitting there writing
Clear,
up
y'all.
his resigning letter, and I'm like, you promised me. And you know what we did? We packed up, he resigned, we moved to Mississippi, we lived with his parents for 6 months, and we sold both of our vehicles, and we had a vision and we had a dream. And I just knew that God had something really big for Austin here. For me too, but really big for Austin here. And if y'all know Austin, y'all know he's got some grit, he's got some passion, he's got some heart. He is our business. I am the other side, yes, and it's not all sunshine and rainbows over here at the Palmier family, okay? I'm just gonna let y'all know. Being in business together is a blessing, but it's also very hard at the same time, okay? Because we have different strengths, we have unique talents that God's blessed us with, and sometimes we have to figure it out. Took us a couple years to kind of figure out where my strong suit was, where his was, me trusting him because we're both Aries, so we're like, sometimes together. But anyway, I just think it's really awesome how far that Austin has grown our business and also grown as a man, not only a husband, but also a father. I mean, this business, y'all, changes you for the better. And they ain't nothing like Primerica. Okay. I came back when I was, and listen, I think it was Bernard and then also Brandon. Okay. Listen up here, guys. I failed the SIE 3 times. Okay. I got a 54, I think, the first time. And then I got a 68 and then a 68, and then I had to wait 180 days to take it. Now, granted, during that time while we were living with Mike and Renee, me and Austin were both taking our SIE. So we were kind of racing. I'm like, one of us has to pass. Like we have to help people with the securities part, right? So thankfully he passed because I failed my third attempt. I'm like, well, you got to pass. Like he failed, I think the 2 times or 1 time?
Twice.
Twice. So his last one was up and I'm like, oh, please, Jesus, help us. You know what I mean? So he passed, thank the Lord. I'm like, yes, I'm good. Yo, I didn't take the SIE again until April of 25. Okay. I just took it. Okay. I did not fail it this time, thank the Lord. Okay. And then I passed the 6, and then I failed the 63 because I got too cocky, and then I passed it the next time. Okay. And then I also failed the mortgage exam by 1 point because I don't practice what I preach, and I went back and changed my answers. But then I passed it on the second time. Okay. So listen, and I failed the life insurance exam the first time. So if anybody wants to talk about failing, as long as you keep going, don't let a test determine your success here, okay? I'm a fitness coach. If you told me back in 2019 that I'd be helping people with finances and their mortgage, I'd be like, you're smoking crack in the closet. Ain't no way I'm doing that, right? You can do this. Do not let a test depict your success here. Just like Brandon and Bernard said, go take the dang test. Don't let it own you. And I know some of y'all on here in our team too, and y'all know I'm talking to y'all too because y'all need to go and take that test.
Ooh, come on now.
Okay, go take that test. You can do it. Okay, fail forward. Okay, but a couple of things before I let Austin bring up some things. It's about partnership and support. And I know, guys, we are blessed to both be here full time. Okay, but I'm also a full time mom, so I do have the privilege to be able to stay home with my son and be a stay-at-home mom and also work in the business. Okay. Yes, I am fully licensed, but you have to keep going and be consistent because for the longest time, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, like I was the weight and then I was the support. I was the weight and I was the support. Any of you ever doubted this business that it's gonna work for y'all?
Mm.
Y'all don't be lying and say you never have. Because I know y'all lying if you do. I'm just kidding. But seriously, I've doubted this business back and forth, because I was used to making good money waiting tables, making good money being a fitness coach. And then like I was a fitness coach here in Mississippi for 3 years too, on side of Austin had stayed full time. Since he went full time back in 2019, he's been full time. This has been his career. Okay. Number one, when we moved here during COVID, we were sanctioned off in Renee and Mike's house. And all we knew was Herman, Jared, Carrie, and Dylan. That's pretty much it. Okay. And so I'm like, okay, Austin's like, you're friendly. Go get a job and go meet some people. So that way you can help market our business in a new area. And I'm like, and he's like, yes, I am. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I went and get a job. I waited tables just a little bit. And then I coached fitness. I ended up really, sticking into fitness while we were here. Okay. And then I realized I was pregnant. I became head coach at Orange Theory Fitness in Jackson, and I was stuck. I'm like, man, like I'm helping somebody else. You know, when you start being an entrepreneur and then you go to work and you're like, man, I'm kind of a bad employee. Like I should be helping my spouse or myself build up my business, right? And so when we had our son, I really think that that's when God changed my heart a lot because I had to borrow Austin's belief for a long time. And that's why I'm so grateful because he kept going and he's kept being consistent even when I was the weight. And so it's all him. He's been rugging me along, y'all. I'm not lying to y'all, okay? But I'm in, I'm out, kind of wishy-washy because the doubt was just so strong for a while. And then when I realized that, man, he's truly building something great and it impacts so many people, it's like, man, that's just something you can't get back. And like environment is everything. Like once you're exposed to this type of positivity, like, man, it's just so hard to like go back to a negative environment because everybody's here pushing people up, right? Like we're all in different hierarchies, different bases, and it's just like we're here. You guys asked us to speak to y'all, and y'all have so much success already, but y'all are always constantly learning, and that should say something about y'all's leadership. For the Cragans to ask regional leaders to come in and speak, we can always learn something from someone, no matter what, whether it's a story, whether it's just a nugget, something to change your perspective on things. And, there's just something uniquely stretching about building a business alongside your spouse, not just because of the work itself, really, guys, but because it really forces you to confront your issues in ways that you never really expected as a person, right? And so for me, like I said, one of the biggest challenges, truthfully, is believing that the business would actually work. And that was a big challenge for me. Again, I doubted a lot. I was the weight, I was the support, I was the weight back and forth, just wishy-washy for a while. Okay. But what I learned over time, and I looked up a little bit of doubt before I came to speak to y'all, is that over time, doubt often shows up whenever you step into something bigger than what feels comfortable. And that's when doubt really creeps in. There were seasons where Austin saw a potential in me that I didn't see in for myself. Because again, I was just so, I don't know, I just was so not confident in myself, and so, because, like I said, me, finances, what, it's just crazy. And having a true partnership in business has really taught me that sometimes you have to borrow belief from each other until your own confidence catches up. And I borrowed Austin's belief for a while. And now it's like fun to get to share that with him. And so, what's really awesome that I want to share with y'all too is that Jared Nelson, y'all, if y'all know Jared, man, he's just got such a big heart. He's such a good leader, him and Kim, and of course the Landrums, but man, they have helped us in so many ways. And Jared said something to me before when doubt was just so in my head, was like, he said, if you only had one person succeed in Primerica, that makes it possible. But when you see millions of people succeeding, that makes it probable. Like you can do this. You can work this business. You have to build your confidence. Okay. And the key is to stay consistent. Just stay consistent. I can't tell y'all how many times when we first started, I word vomited when I set appointments. I was just all over the phone. Okay. But there's people that we've met with 5 years later that they're like, hey, you guys still doing that Primerica thing? And you know what happens is we meet back with them and we change their lives because we're still in the business. They might not have believed in us then, but now they believe in us because they see the consistency, especially with Austin, right? And so Austin has always been consistent. He's always showing up. And this is one of my favorite quotes that I saw recently from Art Williams. And I know probably some of y'all know it, but it says, you beat 50% of people by just showing up, another 40% by showing up with a great attitude, but the other 10%, now that's a dogfight. Now, Primerica was easy, everybody would do it. God doesn't call everybody to Primerica, okay? God called you to Primerica for a reason. Figure out what that reason is, and that's what's going to make you stick, right? And so, little by little, I found, and this is just me, little by little, right? The more I showed up, the quieter my doubt became. The more I just showed up with a good attitude too, right? And so building a business together has become really, guys, about so much more than income or success, but it's built trust in our marriage, resilience, really, in hard seasons, and confidence in who we're becoming, not only individually, but also together for somebody, for our son to look up to, and our future kids and our team, and just so much light in this business. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this, is that confidence usually doesn't come before the first step. It comes because you're willing to take the first step initially. And so that's really all. I know I talked a lot, but I just had a lot of passion for that. Is just like going to the gym. Okay? Sheeta knows. She knows what that means. Okay? You go to the gym one time and do some bicep curls, you ain't gonna get biceps. Okay? You gotta actually do it consistently. Yep. If you want to lose weight, And that's what I tell people when I used to be a fitness coach. You get on this diet plan that makes you lose weight in a month, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If it goes away quick, it's going to come back quick. Same
Facts.
thing with the business. If you build it quick, it ain't going to last that long. It takes time. Takes time.
Facts. That's good.
Takes time. Just like a healthy lifestyle. That's what I used to teach my clients. I'm not a dietitian by no means, but like instead of when you go to McDonald's, get a salad instead of a cheeseburger. It's a healthy lifestyle choice. The choices that you make today will reflect how your business will become and who you're becoming. So make the right choices and just do it for yourself, do it for your family, do it for your business, and do it for your team because they're looking up to you. And so that's all I want to say. And
That was all.
he's the best. So I'm just
I don't know. Y'all heard her.
I'm just here.
That was all.
So he's the best
That
though.
was fire.
For real, for real. So I'm gonna let you take it away, and that's all I had to
I
say.
don't know. I was taking notes while you were talking. So
I'm sorry.
y'all see where the juice comes from in this partnership, right? That was awesome. You said a lot. You said a lot
I know, I'm
there.
sorry. I talked too long.
No, you did not. That was great. I don't know about you guys, but I took some nuggets from that personally. I think, you know, really what I wanted to talk about is tailored right into kind of where we're headed, really kind of why we're going for RVP, what we're focused on, as a team. And I think what she said really impacts the motivation, the inspiration behind why. I think that was really important of what she said is find out why you're doing this and go for it. And so I'm just going to share my screen. Lashida, I don't know if I've got the opportunity to do that. Can I do that? I just got a couple of quick slides. I think I can.
Click right there and see if it lets you.
Let's see.
You
I
just
think
share.
you should be good.
Can y'all see my screen?
Yes, we can. Sorry, I was
Okay,
struggling to
cool.
unmute.
No, you're good. All right. So Crandall texted me. He said, "Man, I want you guys to talk about, what you're focused on RVP run as future RVPs." And through a lot of, prayer and really seeking our coach, I'm just going to tell you all kind of our roadmap, right? What we're focused on right now to go RVP and build passive income that the Cragans have, right? I mean, they've got a really strong income passively, and I think that's a business. And so, kind of what my focus is as a leader is you've got to know the numbers of the system, right? Our system's Primerica, and it's got some predictability with it, a lot, really. And so at 8531, you got to know the numbers, right? Get on 8 target market appointments. 5 are going to be objective. 3 are going to do life and investments, and 1's going to come to work. And then the recruiting numbers are in a 30-day period of time, right? If you recruit 10 people, 3 are going to go into witness protection program, right? They're going to tell you they're going to be your best guy and they're going to quit that next day. The next 3, they're the ones where people stop recruiting. From my experience, that's why I've had droughts in recruiting is the next 3 where they spend 10 to 15 hours with me and then they quit. And that's the frustration zone. But you keep pushing through and you get to those next 3 that are happy part-timers, potential full-timers, and then there's 1 that's going to be a stud. And so if you know that going into it, then the second part is you got to accept it, right? Now I know it. Now I got to accept that I can't beat it long term, right? I can do it, but it is what it is, right? So you got to commit to it and then work them. And that's the hard part. A lot of people go from no and accept, and they're saying the things like, I'm going to do it, but really they haven't done the work yet. And that's the people that I'm talking to tonight, right? The decision is the decision to do the work. And so one of the things that we do personally in our household is to focus on the work. And so this is a picture of our refrigerator at our house.
Like currently, like right now.
I took it today and I put it on this PowerPoint. And so this is what our fridge looks like. Okay. So it is a mirror of your business. Looking back 7 days, you can see, okay, how many target market appointments have I done? You see the little clips on there. There's more little sticky notes behind that. So you got to take them off and put new ones on. How many new target market appointments did you do last 7 days? In the next 7 days, how many new target market appointments do you have set? And I think for a full timer, it should be 8 to 12 new target market appointments a week that you do. I think a full timer, right? And so that's the numbers. It's just a direct reflection of what you're doing, and it keeps us accountable. Because all the noise, right? You can get like all wrapped up in all the fluff and stuff. And I'm not saying it's not important to train and get licensed, but if you're frustrated, it may be because of those 2 sticky notes right there. And that's been our season. When I'm frustrated, I'm probably thinking I'm working my tail off, and I've only been on 2 target market appointments in 7 days, right? There's the issue. And so that's a good reflection. Okay, so here's kind of our RVP standard. It's the ability to find, retain, develop independent leaders that want to be RVPs. Okay, number one. Number two, $50,000 in 12-month income or close to it in the base shop. All right. Strong promotions to build direct RVPs. That's kind of what we're focused on building in our base shop. So for us, what we felt like is we got to be the example. If that's what we're growing, we got to do it first. So I've heard leadership say that your people will do what you do half as good as you do it. That's why we're focused on the Power Builder ring in the base shop. Because even if our people do it half as good as us, the worst case scenario is they get to watch the Power Builder watch.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of our leadership is we want to do it first. Okay. So here's our formula, right? Recruit a lot of people into a great environment. It's hard not to put them in a good environment in the Landrum hierarchy, right?
Mhm.
Set a great example, right? That's the 8-5-3-1. You doing it, right? You doing the work. And then leaders will rise up. Listen, y'all, you can't do enough good or bad for a winner to not win, right? That's what I had to realize. It ain't about your system. It ain't about you, unless you're just like a horrible person, right? And I don't feel like you can be a horrible person and be plugged into this environment. I just don't think you can. Maybe you could, but I haven't seen it. People that stay plugged in long term, you're going to be a good person. You're going to develop. And so that's not the thing. You keep doing your thing. And when you run across them, you really don't have to train them. You really don't. They're going to show up without you asking them to. They're going to set appointments without you having to motivate them. And they're going to get better without you calling them and texting them. They're just going to keep showing up. They're going to seek the knowledge, right? They're going to seek information. And so you got to believe that when you find the recruit, they're going to do it regardless, right? Okay, so here's kind of our personal activity. This is a builder's personal activity. This is what we're focused on. It's 2 to 4 direct personal recruits a month. Mike Landrum, Jared Nelson, Crandall, all these guys, right, that have these big businesses. They say the same stuff. It's the same stuff. 2 to 4 direct recruits a month, consistently work towards getting them to district leader and focus on getting to double-digit recruiting team as fast as possible, right? Why? Back to the numbers. If you recruit 10, you're going to find a stud every month, right? You're going to find them and you don't have to train them. You get them plugged in. You maybe go on 1 or 2 appointments and they're Haley. Peace out. Deuces, I'm rolling. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to autopsy their presentation. They're going to study it and figure it out, right? That's just how it works. Okay, so here's our focus. We're focused on building independent leaders. That's what we focus on, right? So we recruit a lot of people and we're focused on working with the people to get them independent. And here's kind of the things that we focus on to get them there. They can do a question-based presentation and gather information and set a second time to meet back, right? That's step one. We want to help them get to district and be able to do that independently. Number two, they can get a name and number and set and do a first interview, meaning like they're out and about and they're prospecting. They can get a name and number, set up an interview and do the first interview and overview. Okay. They can answer common recruiting questions, maybe not like the in-depth stuff, right? Where they have to get us involved, but the common ones, right? Okay. The fourth one is they can get a recruit off to a fast start. And here's our fast start. I mean, our fast start's real simple, y'all. We don't do a big old orientation when we recruit somebody because that's me. Like, I was a construction guy. You recruit me and you tell me everything about the business model, I'm probably going to leave, like, because it's too complicated. Get me on some daggum appointments. Let me see this sucker work, right? And so that's kind of how we have, catered, I guess is the best word for that, is changed our philosophy is getting them in the field to get it from their head to their heart as quickly as possible, right? Number five, our districts and above saying they want to be an RVP. That's who we're going to spend time with. Is we're going to help the other people and we're going to, help them answer their questions and stuff, but we're going to invest time with the people that are districts and above that are saying they want to be an RVP. And there's a difference between helping people and, getting them in the right direction versus investing time in. That's different. You can invest time with people, but really an independent leader, here's our definition. An independent leader is doing 3 recruits and 2,500 in premium personally, independent and consistently showing up with a good attitude and working towards double-digit recruiting, having a builder's mindset, right? That's our philosophy. Guys, that's kind of where we're focused on right now. We're headed in the right direction, we feel like, but we're constantly making adjustments, and Haley hit it perfectly. Y'all, we don't have all the answers. A lot of this, y'all, is just copy paste from our coach, right? This is literally the definitions of what he's told us. And so really, one of the things I want to leave you guys with is a lot of the times personally, I've looked at my business and I've been frustrated. And one of the things that I've always heard, Mike Landrum, I'm pretty sure Crandall, she'd have said this multiple times on training. If you're frustrated and you're not doing what your coaches said to do when you ask them for help, do what your coaches said to do. I know that sounds so simple, but it's like, are you question, right? Are you doing the stuff your coaches are telling you to do, right? The Craig hierarchy. Okay, so first question, are you doing 2 to 4 direct recruits a month personally over the last 3 months? Maybe not 1 month, but over the last 3 months, are you doing 2 to 4 direct recruits a month? And are you doing 2,500 in personal premium on average? And if not, I would shoot your field trainer or your RVP a text tonight. Don't wait. But if you want to be an RVP, I don't know if you can get there without doing the things that they told us to do. I don't even think bigger than that, right? I'm not that smart. I just follow their leadership. It's like, am I doing the things that they told me to do? No. Okay. I want to be here. I need to fix this before I can go up. Okay, why am I not doing it? Oh, I know what I should be doing. I'm just not doing it. That's red alarm. That's danger zone. No, you don't, or else you would have done it. Get with your coach. That's the biggest thing that you can do is seek wise counsel and say, Coach, I want to be an RVP. I want to build a business. I know I need to do this. My thinking's off, right? My thinking isn't right about the thing. Typically, it's not the thing that's the problem. For me, that's never been the case. It's how I think about the thing, right? It's how I think about setting appointments. It's how I think about doing a 90-day run. It's how I think about my goals. It's how I think about doing an appointment, not the stuff. But if you can go into an appointment thinking, I know what we do is solid. I know if they're open for opportunities, I know if they work with me, man, I can help them achieve all their goals. I've got all the resources at my hands. See, guys, it's a lot of it is just how we think. It's the 6 inches between our ears that can change your business. So, guys, appreciate y'all. I know Crandall, Lashida, this is a big deal for us. We really appreciate you guys for asking us. We're open for the questions. Appreciate y'all so much.
Um, I want to say first, an awesome job. I'm old school, so everything you said is I'm flipping as fast as I can, trying to write it because they say a word written is a word remembered, right? But I did take pictures too, just in case my little old hand didn't keep up. But you said something that I honestly want to hear you elaborate on when it comes to, and I'm sorry, I know we're supposed to be courteous and let people that ask their questions first, but I'm just gonna be greedy tonight, going first. I'm not even gonna open it up yet because it's when you said there's a difference about investing time in people. I want you to clarify, like elaborate, not clarify, because it was very clear. But what does investing time look like for you? Because I do feel sometimes you can be in the business for a lengthy period of time and it gets cloudy and you start feeling, like you said, man, ruthless Renee did this to me, but now we're babying our people. And it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a good thing, right? I know with my kids, I've gone back old school. I just took away cell phones, Crandall. I took away the cell phones, the tablets. They have a home phone now because we're like, yo, all this technology obviously is not good. And so, with that being said, what is your definition? Paint a picture so I can see it of when you tell somebody, "Hey, these are the leaders we've identified, and we're going to invest time." How do you differentiate? What's the difference between answering the questions over here, but investing time? What do those two different things look like?
Man, that's a really good question. That's really, really good. I think Chris Royce's example of the tennis ball,
Hmm.
I love that example. And because if you hit a ball, the example is like, let's say we're playing tennis and I hit you the ball. and you like kind of look at it bounce by. That's a one, right? The
Hmm.
second one is you hit the ball and they kind of like half whiff, they're kind of like, you know, that's a two. A three is they'll volley it back to you, just kind of softish, a little. The fourth one will hit it, and the fifth one will smack it, right? And so that's who I want to spend time with. Why? Well, they're showing me something. And so it would be frustrating for me to try and get the number one to be a number five or the number two to be a number four, right? I just keep hitting the ball until I find the five, and then I'm going to hit it back hard and keep going back and forth. And they hit it harder and harder and harder. And so I think that is a really good example of who we should spend time with. Because if I said to you guys, I mean, y'all are very successful in Primerica and y'all have paid the price and done the work and y'all are still pouring a team. If I asked you, Lashida, hey, how do I get the number one to be a number? How do I get them to be a five? You'd look at me and be like, you you don't you just move on,
You
right?
can't turn a duck into an eagle.
Stop hitting the one a ball, right? Hit the five a ball. And that's why you're frustrated. And so I think the biggest frustration in our business is spending time with the wrong people. It's spending time with the people that make you feel good. And I think early on, when I didn't have a lot of people I was working with, having their attention felt good, made me feel like I was working, right? Made me feel like, oh, I've got a team. No, that's not a team. They just want to complain to you, and then that's sucking your energy dry for you to go find more really sharp, solid people. And so, investing time, when I find those people, I'm like, hey, man, let's get you, your wife, me, my wife, let's go to lunch. Like, let's go. I'll drive to where you live just to have a bite to eat with you. You know what I'm saying? I want you to know, like, I'm here, I'm with you, and I want you to know everything about me. I want to know your kids. I want to know what position they play on the ball field. Like, I want to know everything about them because an obstacle is going to come, and I want them to be able to trust me versus the other person calling you saying, "Oh, they told me no, and I don't know if this is going to work." And it's like, okay, you got to coach them up a little bit, but like maybe when they get a little bit more grit, maybe you show them some love, right? Hey, you can do this. It's going to be great. And a lot of people just need that. But I'm not going to go way out of my way to invest my time and drive an hour just to eat lunch on a Sunday with them. Not yet. Maybe down the road, just not yet, right? Because it
Yeah,
would wear me out. So that's the
love
best way
it.
I can explain it.
No, I love it. I needed a refresher for myself, and I think some other people on the Zoom probably needed that too as they're working to build their businesses. But I'll be kind now. I'm gonna be kind. Gonna open that thing up, you know, um, for some questions. I know that it's impossible to sat here and listen to them and not have a question.
I
And
would
Haley,
like
you're
to
not.
branch
Oh,
off of that real quick if I can.
okay, go
From
ahead.
what I have learned by being also this, the weight and the support at the same time, but if you could do anything, if you're married or have somebody, or if you're not, that's fine too. But like Austin said, investing time in the right people that you want to be friends with and that you want to do life with is everything. You need to become a professional friend maker. Like people have a sign on their forehead that says "Make me feel special," and so. I can't, y'all, we went to a baby shower today for a recruit of ours who's having their first child, and they've been inactive in the business for a couple months, but like we still are their friend. Like we're still there for them in all the stages of life. We recruited somebody and Austin was in their wedding. That's how like relationship building that we are and that we want to be. We want to be a part of their life.
Yeah.
Like doing life outside of work with them is key because our pastor actually talked about it today. It's like somebody's heart is like a fist, right? Especially when it comes to trust, right? It's like they're bundled up for now, but as soon as you open up and get to know them, they loosen up and they start opening up to you and being transparent. And that's the best you can do with not only your leadership, but also y'all's team is that like, if you're not communicating with your leadership, they're not going to know what's going on in your life. Like, be honest with them.
Yeah.
Be truthful. Get your pride off the shelf. I had a big trouble with that. Is that like pride is the enemy. Like, get it off the shelf and go to your leadership and say, like, they want what you have. like they're there. And it's like, why would you listen to broke Uncle Bob whenever your leadership is there where you want to be? I did that so long. Y'all, my parents, like, I love them, but they don't support me. They still haven't. I mean, they just think that, oh, you went to college, you need to be doing this. Like, surround yourself with people who want more for your life, because that's who you're going to grow and that's who you're going to become.
Facts.
You don't want to hang out with negative Nancy next door.
Mm.
Like, you can love her, but like, you don't want to hang out with her. It's the same thing with your team. Like, figure out who you can tell that has grit, they have determination, they have a good head on their shoulders, and that's who you want to grow with. Like, again, we love them. We'll love up on the people who we don't want, not want to spend time with, but who are just like in their head and just, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
God only asks us to do our best, right? Plant the seeds, do our best, but build community. That's what we're all about, is community.
Yeah.
Because people, and everybody's heard this before, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care about them.
That's good.
Okay? Care about people, love on people, and invest time outside of the business. That makes so much better.
Yeah, I don't understand why you back.
Outside. But that's it. That's all I wanted to touch on. Sorry.
No, that was awesome. Honestly, I was sitting here listening to you thinking, like, did she record me? Because I know somebody on this team can say she said exactly the same phrases I say all the time. I recruit people that if I don't want to do life with you, I don't recruit you. I want people that if you left this business, that I still want to check on you and come to your house for Christmas or whatever. And so I may not be, I want you to be like a friend that I may not talk to in months, but we'll pick up right where we left off. And you don't think me not calling you is because I don't care, you know? So I love it. That's great. So they're yours, guys. I know somebody's itching. Dr. B, I know you're going to be Dontalisha, beat Dr. B. Go for it, Dontalisha. God, dog. I
Only
like it.
look, she just looked away. Dr. B looked away for a second. That's all. All right. Well, thank y'all so much. Y'all are phenomenal leaders. I appreciate y'all giving us y'all time tonight. And also, Coach L.A. Crandall, thank you for bringing them, because technically y'all could have had a one-on-one with them, right? Y'all could have got what y'all wanted and was like, cool, thank you. So thank you for bringing them to us and giving us some information. All right. So my question was about the formula for growth. So we've seen this, like, all the time on Landrum training. So the second point on there you said was to recruit people into a great environment, right? So and Corey Bloom kind of talked about this on Saturday training as well. Like, when we're going through stuff, we tend to isolate, but like, you really do, you need the environment more than the environment needs you. That's what kind of keeps you plugged in, inspired, and all of that. So how would y'all describe a great environment, and then what do y'all do, like, personally to contribute to that?
Yeah, that's a really solid question. And we'll be brief so we can get to more questions. So one of the things that I do is, how do you have a good environment? I've never figured out a way to motivate an unmotivated person. Okay, so I would be cautious about overanalyzing your environment because you've got one, right? We've got a great environment. And I used to be like, well, maybe if I like fancied up things and made it more attractive for people to come to and all that stuff, like maybe more people will want to come. That's not true. That's just not true. Facts. I mean, it's just simple. It's not true. So what do we do for a great environment? We sell our environment. Like, we just sell it. When we recruit people, it's like, you've got to meet this person. You would really enjoy getting to know this person. So you've got people in your base shop, right? You can get them in person and get them to an event in person, or like, if you're not close to your office, get next to them, right? So go to their house, have something at your house, and then watch training, and then invite somebody else from the base shop. Hey, can you come over? I want you to help me like build a relationship with this person. Y'all, I was horrible in the business when I first got started. So I had to, like, if I recruited somebody that was sharp, like, I'm calling Herman and be like, hey, bro, or Carrie, or I'm texting Dylan, hey, are you going to be at training Saturday? I've got a new person. Or I'm posting a telegram. Hey, I've got somebody that's coming. Can you guys help me? Because I'm not the best, but I do know that people are relationship oriented. And so I'm trying to sell the environment. And what was your second question? The environment. And then what was your second one?
You kind of answered it. Basically, what do y'all do personally to contribute to that environment?
Oh, sell it and be the first person there and help set up and be the last person to leave, make sure everybody's good, clean up, all that stuff. And, take ownership. I treat Jared's office like it's my office. Like I want to make sure that everything's set up and all that kind of stuff because it's my business, So I think if we learn to take ownership of our business, then our team will do the same thing.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Haley, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean that's spot on. I think also, Dante Alicia, just being the light of your business, people are attracted to light rather than darkness. And naturally, right? If it's raining outside and it's gloomy, you don't want to go outside, right? But if it's a pretty day and it's bright and airy, you want to go outside. It's the same thing with people. It's like if you can feel somebody's passion
Yeah.
and their love and you hug them when they come in, instead of just a stern handshake, just vibrancy and light and smiling. It's just, I feel that's how you could we could be welcoming, just welcoming. It makes everybody's day because people don't get that very often where they're at work. They're more of a number rather than a person, so people just aren't used to it.
That's
That's
great.
awesome. I see Tim Coley was next. He had raised his hand, and I think Dr. B unmuted. So Dr. B, I'll get you right after him. Go ahead, Tim.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, cool. So thanks for sharing all that good information. One of the early things you said was independent recruiters, recruiting independent people that can do stuff. So my question is, at what point do you assess a recruit and be like they're independent, they can handle the appointments and stuff on their own? I think you say you had like 2 appointments and then they took you to the wolves. And what's a good assessment to be able to uh, feel that way about a recruit on your team?
Oh man, that's probably one of the hardest things to navigate in my experience is how do you get people independent, it's like I don't want to let them sink, but I also don't want them to not be willing to try. And that's a relationship is important for that. I got to know the person well, so if I don't know them from a can of paint and I'm like, you got this, they're going to be like, says who, you know? So I think building a relationship with your team as quickly as possible, right? I mean, if you go on 2 appointments day one, you know, the right person is going to say, can I do it by myself? But I would start setting the tone personally. I do that when I recruit them. I'm like, dude, this is so simple, right? In 3 to 6 appointments, you're going to be like, Austin, can I start doing this by myself now? Because it's so simple. And so I'm planting that seed with them of like, they're going to want to do it. And by the third or the fourth one, I'm saying, how do you feel? You know, and I want them to try. That's my thing, because eventually they're going to have to try. And so I'm not expecting them to get results, but as soon as they are willing to try, I am celebrating the heck out of that thing. I'm like, dude, I can't believe like you're 3 appointments after that and you're on your first appointment. I can't believe, I bet you freaking killed it, dude. That is amazing. And I'm just like, that's the best thing ever. And it is, right? I mean, like now they're taking on ownership and responsibility of the business. I don't care if they sucked, to be honest. I just want them to swing the bat and try. And so that's like the first step of going on appointment, but like independently recruiting and training people, man, I don't know if I've ever found a test that's like, hey, once they meet these checklists, they're ready to go. I think it's like, dude, go, you got this and just keep them, encouraging, empowering. Jared told me the other day, he said a lot of leaders think equipping people is the thing. And we think, oh, well, they need to know how to do this, and this, which is important. But I think I missed for years the empowering and encouraging part. And I think you can't do either one. I think you got to do both. But if I had to choose, I would pick encourage and empower. That's where I would go. And so I'm like, dude, Jonathan, man, you've got it, bro. Like I knew you had it in you.
And I think too, exactly what he said is it's kind of like if you go to play a sport for the first time, and I've heard Jared mention this multiple times, is like you can read everything about baseball, but if you don't go out there and swing the bat, you're gonna you got to go out there and practice, right? And so kind of the way we kind of started thinking about it was maybe not after two appointments to throw them to the wolves, but like, 5 to 7, like how long does it take you to really learn the chorus of a song? From like 5?
6.
Okay. You can at least learn a little bit of the concepts. It's not going to be perfect every single time. And guess what? The person on the other side doesn't know what you're supposed to say.
That's true.
And you're always going to leave them better than where they were before, especially with a good company like Primerica. So where they were before, you're leaving them a lot better than where they were, no matter what you teach them and no matter what you say, even if you're playing show and tell the first time. So I know Crandall had a question, but that's all I wanted to say about that part.
Facts.
Cool, cool, cool. Crandall, Dr. B was up. Do you want to speak before that? Oh, she said, nope, go ahead. It's you.
Well, no, amazing, amazing job. And I was just listening to you guys go through your story and obviously some of the pinpoint. And then obviously, you start thinking about your teams. And I'm even thinking about like RVPs and RVPs that have promoted RVPs. And I think one of the tough things that isn't talked about enough, and I want you guys just to touch on it, is the fact that there's a lot of dead bodies. And I won't call them dead bodies, excuse me, because they're actually living, breathing
Walking Dead.
organisms, children of God, right? They're
That's it.
children of God. They're born again believers. They're real people. They got like two eyes and they got skin and all of that. And but what I mean by is the fact that we talk about, hey, it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. I know you guys have heard it your whole career, but it's different, right? When you're a good person. It's different when you actually genuinely care for people and their well-being. And so I know a challenge for me was that it was you want every person to, I'm talking about every single one of them that tell you they want it. You want to help them, carry them, right? Whatever you can do to get them to that level of success. And it can be a lonely feeling when you have to, I won't say turn my back on them, but when I have to not work with them and move to the people that want it. So I know you talked about that a little bit, but I want to talk about the intimacy of the numbers and the loneliness you can actually go through, and then but knowing that that is the right thing to do. So I know that's kind of layered, maybe a little deep there. But I know if you guys got 40 licenses, if you ran through 83 recruits, I'm thinking, well, that's right at 100 recruits. That's 8 a month. So if you recruited 8, you easily prospected double, triple, quadruple that. So there was a lot of other spiritual conversations that maybe didn't come to fruition. So just touch on that a little bit because we got a lot of good, large-hearted people on the call, and it's painful, right? Having to maybe walk away from people or whatever.
That was a really solid question. Appreciate you, man. I think it goes back to what your teammate said. I was taking notes, but I'm going to pinpoint that because I think it's very relatable. Bernard said something. Um, he said he gave up side gigs to focus on his goal. And I think it's the same thing with like relationships. You've got to give up what's comfortable. Like you got to be willing to give up squeezing more out of a lemon when there's nothing left to squeeze. And it's like if there's 8 target market appointments on my books and I do 3 life apps and 3 investments and do 1 recruit, if I don't do that, seek wise counsel. If I do that, keep going, right? Same thing with recruiting. So it's like the amount of conversations that you're having and the amount of recruits that you're recruiting, it's a direct reflection of your belief level. It's a direct reflection. And what's really cool here in our company is your income is a direct reflection of how many people that you're helping. And so if I recruit somebody that takes me 10 hours of my time, when I know at the front end, like they're not a sharp person, they're not going to want to win, they're just negative constantly. Like, is that helpful for the other people on my team that need my attention and other people in my market that I could go see? Like, imagine your pastor sitting watching Netflix all week long, right? Not doing anything in the community, but sitting there watching Netflix 4 hours a night, every night, and then going to preach and Like, and I'm not saying watching Netflix is a bad thing, but like, I don't know if that would be a good, wise use of your time. And so, what if we think of our time the same way, except spending it with the wrong people? It's not just the time. It's like we've got to understand that the numbers are the numbers, but also when I run across the right person, I want to have energy, right? If I run across Crandall, I don't want to be coming back having an hour-long conversation from somebody that just drained my energy. Like, I want to be with Crandall and have 2 minutes in, and I'm like, oh, this boy he's coming to work with me. Like I'm fired up. I'm talking to him. I'm like, bro, you like what you do? I'm ready to go. It's not just, when I'm having these conversations, I'm planting a lot of seeds, but I'm keeping my radar because I believe we all have this certain level of energy, right? I believe we all have this certain tank and people will suck it dry. And so you got to protect it, you got to protect it just like your household. You got to protect that time so that you have enough of it to give to the right person when they come along. It's the right person and you've got it in you. And so as far as loneliness in that, yeah, if you recruit 10 people in a month, you've probably talked to at least 40, but it's like when you're doing the stuff and the people say no, it doesn't matter. It's like, I love them. I feel bad for them though. I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh, dang, you just lost. Like, I'm gonna pray for you because you don't know what you just said no to, dude. But like, that's all right. That's okay. I'm gonna still be your friend, see you at church and say hi. But it gonna take me out. I'm gonna keep going because I'm gonna find a Crandall. My next person I talk to is gonna be a Crandall. But I can't make that person come to work with me. And frankly, I look at it like God's protecting my time, right? Because I'm thankful they said no now. What if you recruited that person, you spent 15 hours with them, and then they tell you no? Which one would you rather? I'd rather them tell me no in 5 minutes, right? Thank God. I think of rejection as God's protection. Change rejection to God's protection. It ain't lonely. It ain't lonely. It's proactive, it's effective, it's efficient, right? You crossed them off the list. Okay, I'm glad I called them. Now I know. They could have just stayed on your list. And you just thought, what if? Nah, not now. I don't think what if. They don't want it. Thank God, right? Thank God I didn't waste 15 hours, right? Doesn't mean I don't like acknowledge them out and about. I'll still say, hey, how you doing? In fact, the baby shower we went to today, one of the guys was a recruit. He's like, hey, man, how's the business? I'm like, it's fantastic. How's your job? And he's like, oh, it's good. I got a new one. And I'm looking at him like, wake up, right? Like, wake up. But he doesn't see it for himself. And some of that is his personal belief, some of it's time, but it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm gonna still say hi to him, but that's okay. Some people, they just don't. I think Jared's person that recruited him that quit, I bet every time he drives by the office, he's thinking, oh gosh, right? But Jared would still say hi to him at Walmart. So I think it's like we've just got to be that person that's not the person that recruited Jared that quit because somebody else took him out. And so I think that's the biggest thing for me, Crandall. I don't know if that answered your question, if that was what you're looking for.
Perfect. Good to go.
Yeah.
You have anything
Monte.
to add to that?
Yeah, I can add a little bit. I mean, everything was spot on. The thing I would add is that, like, Crandall, I'm gonna be honest, like, Austin was lonely for a little bit in this side of the household because of my wishy-washiness. He'd come home and, just I wasn't like I was supportive, but I was weighed at the same time. So there is loneliness there, but the ones that truly, truly will eventually find that God has placed them here for a reason. Every person you meet is going to be a lesson, whether that's for you or the other person. And so they'll come back. If we had somebody we recruited 3 years ago and she called me the other day and she's like, I'm so sick and tired of being stuck in my job. I want to come back with Primerica. Like, I miss you guys. And I'm like, yes, we love you. Come on back. It's just like, And I say the same thing. I always relate a lot of to this business with fitness because it's all the same thing. Like as far as consistency and stuff, it is. You can think of this business like fitness, like for sure, you know?
Right.
And so like I wanted so much for all of my clients. Like I wanted them to be able to be pushed past their limits and run faster because I believed in them. But it would suck my energy dry because they didn't want it bad enough. We can want it more for other people than they want it for themselves. And we can pray that they find it, but sometimes that they don't. But that's again all God asks us to do is pray for those people, be their hands and feet, and love on them, and that's it. And let Him sort out the rest and plant the seeds, you know. And I used to tell Austin, I'm like, when I was, um, like when we were spending time with every single recruit that we recruited, it was like, man, you know, you got to think when you have family and stuff too. It's like Austin would work till like 10 o'clock, and I'd be like, he missed all that time the day with his son and family, all to have somebody who's a negative Nancy suck him dry for an hour when he could have been at home spending time with our son and bathing him at night. You know how aggravating that is? It's like, not to me, but for him, he's just like, that just makes me so mad. You know, it's like we gotta wake up and realize that your energy is important too. You matter too. And if your tank is empty, you can't fuel up anybody else on your team that needs the fuel and that would actually cherish the fuel and appreciate it, if that makes sense.
Perfect sense. Perfect sense. Monte.
Yes. So I saw, y'all had the stickies on the refrigerator. So y'all are doing 7 to 10 target market appointments a week. Um, what is prospecting and or referral asks? What does that look like in order for y'all to arrive at that number? Like, are you focusing specifically on that, or are you setting as many as possible and seeing what falls in the number? Or again, what does that look like for y'all?
That's a great question.
Go ahead.
Um, So what we focus on, and this is just based off the numbers and what Austin has told me, and he focuses more on this because my time is a little bit more secure because I have my son, so I have certain time blocks. And I had talked about this actually on a Saturday training. If any of y'all are stay-at-home moms, like how to kind of sanction out your time and your schedule, that fits best as being a mom or a parent. But anyway, so like, 12, 8, 5, 3, 1. So we focus on however many it takes to get 12, is it 12 set and then go on 8, right?
Right.
So 12 set and go on 8. It might take you, Monte. You might call all 12 and set them all. You might call 12 people on the dot and set them all. And guess what? You're done. So as many it takes for you to call. And let's say, and somebody, I think it was Mike or anybody, it might have been the Crandalls or anything, but when it comes to like marketing and prospecting, actually I think it might have been LA, but when you're going to the store, you're going out and about, right? Because some people say, I don't have a big market, all this other stuff. You can build your own market. We didn't have a market here besides anybody at the office. I had to go out and again be a professional friend maker. It's like, you go shopping, you go to a restaurant, whatever. If they're giving you a receipt, you need to be getting a number because you just paid for something and you want to be able to give them an opportunity. Now, if they are not very nice and you might not want to work with them, we'll find somebody else, like maybe the hostess or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like go out and find ways to compliment people because again, people like to feel complimented and then market your business. Hey, you have really good customer service. Have you been here for a long time? They're like, oh yeah, I do this part time. I'm trying to get my kid through college or whatever it might be. Well, great. I don't know if you keep your options open to extra income, but my firm is actually hiring. We have part-time or full-time options available. I'd be happy to pass your name and number along to my hiring manager. And they're like, yes, like absolutely. So just go out there and expect to make a friend or get a name and number and just be natural and just, that's about it. And just again, Monte, you can call 12 people and set all 12. Or you might have to call 16 to set 12. But as long as you set 12, however that might be, that's the goal for us is to set 12 because the numbers are you set 12, that means you're going to go on 8, 5, 3, and 1. So whatever it takes for you to get to those numbers is the goal. And that's what those numbers are for because it's a blueprint. And I see that it's funny because that's actually your background, but it's a blueprint of kind of like what your week is looking like. It's setting small goals to aim for bigger goals in the future. And
That's right.
it trickles effects. Like your first week, and we talk about 90-day runs all the time. It's like your first 30 days ain't gonna look too pretty.
That's facts.
But it's the 60 days and then the 90 days when the numbers start populating and they start boom.
Yeah.
You know, it's what you do in that first 30 days that matters. And so that's what we're trying to track our numbers more so we can't say, so that way if I come home and I'm mad or Austin's mad or whatever, and we're like disappointed in the way the week went, I'm like, okay, well, let's go back and look at our week. What did we actually do? Were we filling it with appointments or were we filling it with noise and paperwork and household chores and all the other stuff that's not actually, promote like giving us any type of feedback or any type of results, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's good.
And you might be able to brain
No,
out
that's
more,
perfect.
but
Haley, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, because I'm going to lose this thought with that mommy brain.
yeah.
They always say the highest form of flattery is imitation, right? I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but you walked up to me one time at a builder school and you were like, "Oh, Lashita, I look up to you, whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, cool," because you hear it so much. But the one thing every leader wants is to make an impact. And as I'm listening to you tonight, I'm like, a woman that I have never personally trained, work with, but you are literally spitting and applying, like, sound like. And so I'm like, that
Between you and
is,
Nicole, that's what
Yeah.
Austin always says. He said, "You sound like LA and you sound like Nicole."
and I'm like,
And I'm
and I'm
like,
not
"Well,
saying that to even sound arrogant, but that is such a compliment, because when you're in this business this long and you just want to help people, you just want to see somebody win. It's like, man, I'm sitting here listening to you. I'm like, I'm not crazy. This stuff works. Somebody's going to take it. They're going to, and like, get a phone number. I'm like, man, you're reminding me of what I did, that I need to go do it again.
Mhm.
And then I know Jared has, I mean, like, y'all, I don't know if those of you know Jared Nelson, you just close your eyes. You would literally think right now that you're with Austin is Jared. He sounds like him. His mannerisms are like him. And so that reminded me, as a leader, how did I become successful? Sean Merrill was my upline, and I was determined to sound like him, to know his story better than he knew his own story, to do everything you said. I was the first one in the office. I cleaned the office. I painted the office. I bought his toilet paper, his water, everything in the office. I bought the dispensers that the paper towels came out of, and because I didn't feel like he should have to do that. It was my office. I never liked the way his desk was messy, so I got there early to organize it. So if we brought people in, they wouldn't think my upline was a slob. His wall was bare. I went and had a canvas made and put it on his wall. And I'm not saying for our team to do those things, but I'm just saying that was that ownership mindset. So,
Yes.
I remember when he would tell a story, I would say, "Yeah, that ain't how that went. You skip. Remember, your son did this and then this, because you have to duplicate." And so, man, I'm just honored, to watch you guys and to hear you respond and everything, because the system is everything. And you didn't go out here and try to reinvent the wheel. You literally, even your slides have the same font that Jared uses on his slides.
They're the same. Look, I ain't that smart. I can't even make a PowerPoint, y'all. I just copy paste. Say a little
Stop
different,
it.
right? But it's true. It works.
That's crazy. But I think somebody else was about to ask a question. I just had to say that because I didn't want to lose that thought. But yeah,
Does somebody
somebody
have
else going once, going twice, because it is getting late and they haven't seen their baby.
oh, he's sleeping."
Oh, he's
Crandall,
sleeping.
Crandall
Yeah.
asked me two questions the other day, and I completely blanked out and didn't answer him. But he asked me two questions he wanted me to answer real quick. Why do you think most people don't make it here? And the second one is what was the toughest challenge you faced while in Primerica? Okay, so the first one, why do you think most people don't make it here? I think too many people, they look 30 days and they completely dismiss their long-term goals. I think if you are short-term mindseted, that takes most business owners out of business. And so you got to look past the 30 days, right? Most people live in, how do I pay the light bill on the first of the month? And that's true. I mean, that is true. Most people do. But I think we've got to get to think like a business owner so that our team starts to think like a business owner. And so, why do you think most people don't make it here? Couple of things. I think they don't set goals. I think they're not showing up. They start isolating themselves. Um, really, and they're just listening to the wrong people. I think it's bad thinking, and they make one mistake and they're thinking 30 days out and they're thinking, oh my gosh, even if they have a full-time job, they're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm horrible because we're not taught that failing is okay. And so I think that's why most people don't make it here and they just don't commit, right? They don't think, why am I doing this? And then, oh yeah, and I'm going to commit. I'm going to give it 90 days. I'm just going to go for now. I'm not thinking like, yeah, I want to be an RVP, SVP, make 300 grand, but like 90 days, I can do anything for 90 days, you know? Like I can do anything for 90 days. Think what was 90 days ago. And it's like, that was a blink. I mean, that was fast. I mean, just commit to 90 days and then go break it down into 30-day chunks and then break it down into week chunks and then to a day. And then do the things in a day, like the sticky notes that we have on our fridge. Like I know that if I get on 8, I'm going to hit 6 figures because the business is just math. It's just math. And so that's why I think a lot of people don't make it here long term.
And I think too, to branch off of that, Crandall, with that question is fear. I think a lot of people have fear of the unknown. They don't know how it's going to turn out if they make these sacrifices and they don't know if it's going to work out or they don't know. Like, there's just so much fear that people have, because we're all taught go to school, get a job, work 8 to 5, get a consistent check every 2 weeks, bi-weekly, hourly pay, all this other stuff. And there's this fear built up in us that what if I don't make the income? What if, like, there's just so much what if going on. Just go out there and do it. Try it. Would you rather live in the what if or would you in the life of regret? Like, and people have just been brainwashed with this mindset of like they can't go out and win for their family or themselves because they have this fear and they're not disciplined enough to figure out that they are a boss and an employee for themselves at the same time. I have to ask myself every day if I fire myself, which I do most of the time, and I rehire myself. Okay. But there is a lot of fear, and I feel like that people don't have a lack of belief. That's why I say borrow somebody else's belief until you become confident in yourself because you can do this. It's not a matter on if. You can take the word can't out of your vocabulary. You can do anything that you set your mind to. It's what you feel with what's important to you that that works, right? If you tell yourself to go run a marathon, you'll make it work. You'll find a way if it's that important to you.
Yeah.
And so that's my take on everything Austin said. But in addition, because I had a big, big, big fear of failure, that because I was self-employed, really being a fitness coach and being waiting tables, is that like, I wasn't hourly by any means, and my performance made up to like if I waited tables well, they pay me well or tip me well. Right. If I treated somebody well in fitness, they're going to want to hire me on as a coach in multiple different areas. So I was very self-employed, not corporate. But we've come across people all the time that they just have so much fear. Like, I need something hourly, I need something salary. I get that. Start part-time then.
Yeah.
Start part-time first and work your way up there, And not everybody is able to overcome that, I feel like, in a way.
I agree.
You know,
Last thing you asked Crandall was
the toughest challenge.
what was the toughest challenge? The toughest challenge was my thinking.
Mindset.
So this is what switched. If this, right, that language, if they, well, if I had Haley, well, duh.
That's why they're successful.
If
No.
If I had the time, if I had a different job, or if I lived closer to the office, then of course that's why they're successful. It's the if then factor, and that's just the confirmation bias. That's just reinforce, you're going to find things to confirm your own bias. You know, I used to look at other people and do the same thing. So I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody here because
Mm-hmm.
we all do it with some things in our life. We all do. But I think that switch where it's like, you said it a second ago, there's thousands of people here that have found success. That's a choice. It's just about how we think. So I think the hardest part was changing my freaking program in here, dude. Like I had to like wash it. Yeah, that's exactly what you need. A lot of us need some brain washing, right?
Yeah.
It's bad. We think horribly. A lot of the times it's, oh my gosh, what if they think I'm just trying to sell them something? Who freaking cares, right? You're selling the best thing that they could ever be sold. Y'all, people spend $500 on nothing, and we're worried about a $124 IBA? Like, no. Like, it's the thinking. If they come to work, that's the best opportunity that they may ever have to get a great financial education, to hear about the Lord, right? To have a friend, right? They're going to leave here better than they got here. So, like, it's the thinking. No, it's not if, it's when I put the work in, then it will work for me because it's worked for everybody else. They don't have anything I don't have. And I promise you, like, I'm not special, really. I mean, on appointments, I do the same stuff y'all do. I'm doing the same stuff. It's literally the same stuff. It's like, do you know what rate of return you're getting on your money? Right? Do you know who your life insurance is through? You know, would you be open to earning an additional 1,000 or 2,000 a month on the side of your job? Like the same questions y'all use. It was this that was limiting belief. And so I think that was the hardest part was like, okay, Austin, I had a kid. It was November 2024. Back was against the wall. I had a choice. I had a choice to make because we had to pay bills. Being 100% real. My team's on here. That's fine. I'm not afraid to tell you the truth, right? It was back against the wall and we had to make a choice. I had to make a choice, regardless of Haley, because she was looking at me like, you've been saying we're going to be big and all this kind of stuff, but bank account ain't looking real good right now, right? So she was not believing, not because she was a bad supportive spouse. It's because I gave her a reason to doubt because I was saying one thing and not doing the thing. And so I had to make a checkup from the neck up and go to my coach. And he said, here's this system. It's called the 100-point activity system. And it doesn't matter what the thing is, but he said, I've been telling you, right? You got to do something. Do it for 90 days. And I had to go home and say, okay, I'm going to do it. I've got to make the phone calls. I've got to ask people, hey, do you know anybody I can get in front of? Was it easy? No. But compared to what? Going back and working 60 hours a week for a job I'm never going to get anything from? And I get to do this from the comfort of my home on a cell phone and AC, and it's for my future family. Like, yeah, this is easy. Okay. Compared to that stuff out there, it's the brain. We got to get this thing washed out and cleaned up and fixed up and tuned up. Right. A lot of it's just thinking. And so that was the hardest part for me, man, was starting to think the right way, choosing, making a choice to say the right stuff, programming. I listen to stuff in the morning. Every morning, I listen to a 20-minute sermon, right? I mean, I just boom, 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 program this sucker. Because as soon as you walk out that door, somebody's going to cut you off in traffic. They're going to flip you off. I mean, you're going to be like, oh, man, I listen to sermons and pray for y'all. You know, because my sinful nature is going to say, oh, they did that on purpose. No, they're probably like having a baby and they need to get to the hospital real fast. So give them some grace. But it's all about this, right? Oh, they're going to think I'm trying to sell them something. They're probably not. 99% of the time, they're going to listen to you for about 30 seconds. You're going to set the appointment. They're going to get off that phone call and they've got screaming kids. They got work. They got the stuff going on. They're not going to think anything about you. You're not that special. We're not. They just don't care. So it's all about thinking. That's the toughest thing that had to change. And it was a choice. I've got to change the way I think.
And I think Lachelle Flood, how did you overcome perfectionism? I think, is that still a question for you, Michelle? Yes? I think I pronounced your first name correctly. If it
Yes,
is,
that was my question.
okay, great. So what's funny is I actually had did a Saturday training a while back on raising a toddler while building a business. And so I actually talked a lot about progress versus perfection. Um, it's about the progress over perfection for sure. To overcome that, it takes a lot of realizing that we are not perfect. We are human. The only person that is perfect is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and that's it. We are not perfect.
Really?
Okay. And I had brought up my slides that I had talked about in that meeting that we did, and I had put some different nuggets on there that, perfect timing doesn't exist for anything. Like the perfect timing, it doesn't exist. You don't need perfect conditions either to start building something, right? You just need consistency and the willingness to keep going even on the messy days. We're not all going to be perfect. Some days we're going to be a great parent. Some days we're going to lose our crap because your kid's been crying all day, you know? But just be the best version of yourself because perfectionism doesn't exist. So give yourself some slack and some grace. Just do your best with a good attitude. And that's where overcoming perfectionism happens. Because I'm telling you, girl, listen. I wanted to know all the things, do all this stuff when I first started in business. I want to get all the licenses, know exactly what I need to say on the training. But the best way we learn is from practice and like just trying and swinging the bat. Just you're not going to be perfect, and that's okay. And that's where the grace comes into play, is just progress over perfection.
Mm.
And that's how I can answer that question. I don't know if that you want to answer that.
I want to leave y'all with this because your time's valuable, Crandall.
Thank you.
I want to say this for the team. My question to you guys for this evening, just to wrap this up, are you agreeable or coachable? Agreeable is yes, I will. Yes, this sounds great. Yep, I'm going to do that. Coachable is doing the work. Coachable is coach said this is the play to run. I'm going to take it and I'm going to run it. And so there's a big difference. Which one are we? Right? A lot of the times I thought I was coachable, but I was just agreeable. So if you want to be the player on this team, this is one of the best teams in the country. So that if I'm on Crandall's team, I'm like, I want to be the best on his team, right? I want to be the best because I want the people in my future team to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
So
and whatever system that they have, follow it, yo. Mm-hmm. Like they're your leadership. Like they've been through it. They've been through what you guys are going through. Whatever your leadership is saying in their system, the system's there.
Yes.
They've experienced it. Would you go ahead and start up a new system and then let us know how it goes, by yourself? Or would you rather listen to somebody who's done it already and built the system for you to make it easier on you? That's what a system's there for.
That's right.
And yes, we follow Jared's system, but if the Cragans have a different system, that's their system. They're y'all's leadership. Trust your leadership. You got to trust your leadership. That's what they're there for.
Yes.
Trust them. They have your best interests at heart. The Cragans are amazing people. They have huge hearts and they want the best for all of you guys. Mm-hmm. You have to believe that and trust that. I'm full belief that they have never given you a reason not to.
Amen.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Appreciate you guys. Thank y'all.
Hey, awesome. Hey, it's over with. It's over. Just to man, we appreciate you guys for coming on here, going overtime, right? Doing some tutoring, doing some one-on-one, doing some coaching and doing some therapy, doing some praying and all of that, man. But I tell you, and here's the way I look at it though. The people that stayed on are the people that's supposed to be on, the ones that are locked in, because if it was a Netflix series, we would have no problem. We would just go pop another bag of popcorn. Right. We would just, you know what I'm saying, eat some Skittles or whatever we got to do to stay woke to watch the Ronda Rousey fight, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever it is that's going on. And so, man, just to stay locked in with the notes and the ability to take this and we don't take it lightly. And so I like one of the things you said. You say, hey, man, we're just regional leaders. We're just regional leaders. Well, but the truth is, here's what I always tell people. You write this down. I want to catch people on their way up because that's when they on fire. See what I'm saying? When they in the trenches, when like they slaying dragons, I'm gonna tell you, once you go over full ownership, that don't mean you're not still slaying dragons, but I'm gonna tell you, it's a different fight when you fighting for your life to come about that base shop. It's a different fight when you're fighting for that 100K power builder ring and and when you look around, it's like, is it ever gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? You get close to it and you're like, come on now, you playing. You playing now. You supposed to already been happening. And you gotta give things you ain't even got to get to that power builder ring to push over and to get that RVP promotion. We know you guys gonna do it. Been watching you for quite some time now. Because I used to go to Orange Theory, right? So I know about that. I saw all that, right? And so for a year, but yeah, they do too much running. All right, but anyway, but no, it's exciting. You guys did an exceptional job. We couldn't have gotten better people on us right on time. The partnership, the way you feed off of each other, and all that. Thank you for your transparency. And man, of course, if we can ever do anything for you, man, we're here for it. You know what I'm saying? We're here to cheer you on and watch you guys go ahead and knock out that promotion and get that power butter ring and all of that. And I hope the team knows that this is what it was about. A lot of leaders say, hey, you know what? Close it down. But no, we wanted to bring in somebody you can identify with and not just always somebody who's already over a million, right? Because you may not be able to connect with that person. This story was a little more intimate, right? This story was an intimate story, right? Talking about at the house and how, all of that. So I'm telling you, all of those things are very, very important for where we are and for where we're going and the vision, man, our $1 million run that we're going to make. There's no doubt. Man, we got to start moving some diamonds. It's gonna happen. I'm not even worried about that, but that's gonna come through building people, and that's what matters for us. It always has, and it always will. And so, I believe LA's like in Atlanta, like in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in New York, right? And so we still wanted to make this happen, right? And we ain't never really apart like this. I don't know how I'm gonna operate, but I don't like it, to be honest. I looked at baby. You don't know this. You the first person to find out. I looked at flights on how to get back, but I'm like, dang, if I get back home, she ain't there because she done drove to Atlanta. So I'm like, I would need to fly from New York to Atlanta to get to where
No,
she.
I actually was like, I just got here and I'm like, I can go back home and hurry up and be there. And maybe he'll get home. It's
Yeah,
funny.
it's $144. So just the flight from Tuesday to Monday.
I'll leave right now.
And go ahead and do that. But anyway, that's extra stuff for y'all. But anyway, that is. But I'm telling you, when you spend time, building the business, and I heard you say that, Austin, right? It is very, very, and Haley, it's very, very tough. But I'm gonna tell you, you'll have something that none of the other people in the marriage class have. Because when we go to our class, they're like, man, how long y'all been married? It's like, man, y'all been married like 15, 20 years. And when even our therapist said, man, y'all our favorite couple. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, I like how y'all fought, how y'all work through issues and you don't hold, like you may be upset or whatever to the person, but then you'll shift and start thinking long term or whatever. And it was like, that's just an interesting thing you guys have. And so, but I don't think that happens without this business. And I think, and I'm be honest, and I close with this, I'm done. Y'all can have a good night. I truly believe that what God does with this business is he like puts your life on fast forward as far as like your flaws. I think he show you your shortcomings real quick. Like that temper you got. Ooh, you thought you had patience. You thought you could forgive. Like you thought you was long suffering. You thought all that. No, 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 no. This is a transformation. And I'm telling you, God uses this business, right, to expose us to ourselves. And when we say, oh, this is not for me, well, really what you're saying is, man, we want to take up our cross, right, and carry our cross because that's what it is. And that's why I love what Austin said was one of the biggest things is, man, is leaning not to down on understanding, transforming his mind. He's exactly right. But that's the biggest challenge for each one of us. And it doesn't matter what income level you are, right? Because even at our level, like you still have to now say, you know what? I can't turn my back on people because I remember where I was and I still want to be that. And so man, it's been refreshing, man, on this call. But anyway, I can talk forever. When it's over with, I'm gonna talk for a living. But man, thank y'all so much. Have a great Sunday. Thanks so much, team. Man, we're out here to build legacies. Man, thank y'all so much again, man. Give some virtual snaps, some virtual love, man, for the Palmiers, man. They even brought teammates and they brought some other people on here too, man. And we definitely appreciate that, man. God bless you guys. And if we can do something, man, thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great Sunday, everybody. We out of here. We love y'all. Be safe. Man, Monday morning webcast. We'll see y'all soon. We love you. Peace out.
Night, everybody. Thank you, Austin Haley.